Welcome guys to John's Football Channel. I hope you're all doing well. Just wanted to make a pre-post review of Portugal versus Nigeria, as well as Mexico against South Africa. So let's get into it. So let's start off. Let's take the look at what happened with Portugal and Nigeria. We had some time to actually analyze and actually over the days and actually see what exactly happened in the way as to actually see the game for what it actually was. So let's take a look at Portugal. Obviously, if you take a look at Nigeria's team against Portugal, they obviously went Oye in goal, Akpan as the right back, Oye and Desire as the centre backs, and then Ukwechi as the left back, and then Obi as the left centre mid, and then Ndidi in the CDM, and then Ndivi as the other right centre mid, and then ahead of them they went Dale, and then they went Simmons and Adams as the two strikers. And then we take a look at Portugal's team. They obviously went Costa in goal. They went Dallo as the left back, Incho and Diaz as the centre backs, and then Sameiro as the right back. And then ahead of them we went Ruben Neves and Vitinha, and then ahead of them we went Trincao, Bruno Fernandes, Neto, and then Ronaldo up front. And then if we had to basically analyze the game, I think both teams would do relatively okay, I suppose, especially for the last warm-up game. We do know that this is a warm-up game for the actual World Cup. We do know that they're playing a couple of games. So if you take a look, obviously Neto scoring the first goal, very good goal from him, and then in the 37th minute, Adams lands up scoring the equalizer. And then we saw that they made a couple of changes, made just refreshing the team, gave the other team, the second half of the team, an opportunity to actually work together and actually see, let them also have a chance to actually warm up and be prepared for the World Cup. And then we'll end up seeing John Cancelo giving the assist to Francisco Cancelo at the 75th minute and making it 2-1 on the night, allowing Portugal to actually get the win. There's been some talks about Portugal, Ronaldo especially with the chances. I think about 4 or 5 chances to actually bury Nigeria, and he didn't. And I think it is a question of how is this possible. I mean, we know what quality Ronaldo has in his locker, and now how is he allowing this to happen? I mean, it's quite weird. I mean, you wouldn't expect someone with nearly 1,000 goals in his career to actually battle one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So that is something we're going to have to take a look at and actually see going into the World Cup. Hopefully he's able to get off this bad form and actually change it for his team. And then we look at some stats for the Portugal game. We saw that there was 13 shots on target for Portugal. They had 6 of them on target, whereas Nigeria had 5 and only had 2. And you can clearly see it was very, very dominating from Portugal in terms of the stats. Corners, possession, big chances created, but they didn't really do much. I mean, 2-1 doesn't really say much of what was actually done on the field. It looks like we obviously didn't bury our chances, like we said earlier about Ronaldo. And then obviously Portugal is currently going to be playing in a couple of days. We know they're playing in 3 days' time against DR Congo. So we'll see as this will be their first game in the World Cup. Obviously DR Congo is ranked 46, while as Portugal is ranked 5. And then just out of curiosity, Nigeria is ranked 26. So Portugal should be able to coast through them without any trouble. Even we play our weakest team, we should be able to beat DR Congo. If you just look at in terms of the rankings, I mean, they are half of what Nigeria is. Let's talk about South Africa against Mexico. Obviously, this is a very, very big game for South Africa. We actually thought that we would actually be able to catch them off guard, not letting them know what we're capable of, and especially we actually were hoping to actually be on the front foot and actually capitalize on Mexico from the first game, and then clearly was not the case. Very, very super passing, and stupid red cards in this game. If we take a look at, let's take a look at the lineup. Let's start there. If we take a look at the, well, they went Regal in goal. They went with Ravers, Montez, Vasquez, and Gallardo as the CD as a defense, and then went Lira as the midfielder, and then they went up front, Herrado, Gears, Frigo, and Gomez as the front four, and then just ahead of them they went with Raul Jimenez as the striker. So it was a decent side, what they managed to put on the team sheet for Mexico. And then if you look at South Africa, we obviously went with Williams in goal, Mopidea as the left wing back, and then Modese, Unko, CBC, and Masudu as the defense. And then ahead of them they went with Adams, Sestole, and Mokoena as the midfield, and then Foster and Reyes as the two strikers. So I think obviously we know there's been talks about what South Africa has done in terms of the players that we have selected to go into this World Cup. We know that people have been saying this is not our best team that has just been fielded in the World Cup, our 2026 26-man squad. Obviously, people are commenting saying that Mamelodi Sundowns has, I think, about 9 players in this team, and Pirates only. There's no other players that are in this team, and for all the other clubs that we are able to have in the PSL, and obviously it is the question, why is that? We know there's a few players. I believe like Esther Storley doesn't actually deserve to be the first choice, and now it's a question of now we actually end up losing the game with the weaklings that we actually put in this team. Then it was if we take a look at what actually happened in the game. So obviously there was a very poor. I believe it was the first one where Williams passes the ball to Stole in the midfield, and he does, for some reason, I don't know what kind of midfield, does not look at his shoulders and actually have a look and see what's behind him. He ends up overplaying the ball, and they'll end up stealing the ball off him, and then they'll end up slotting it in between Williams's legs and actually making it 1-0. And then we actually have Sestole running in, I think, a goal with a defender, with a striker actually, and he ends up touching him in the box, and obviously it's I think it's just behind the box, and making it a red card for him, straight red, because obviously the man was clear on goal. I think it was harsh. I think especially for the first game of the World Cup. I think to an extent we could obviously agree that the bare minimum is probably a yellow card, but at best probably also a red. But I think just for the nature of it being the first game for the World Cup, I would have actually probably gave a yellow. Not obviously it wasn't fully intentional, and it wasn't clear cut, but it's understandable that why a red card was given. And then obviously we made some subs for South Africa, and then in the 67th minute, Raul Jimenez makes it 2-0 with a very very good cross from the left wing, and ends up crossing it into Raul Jimenez's pass and making it 2-0 on the night for Mexico. And then we also had a couple of changes and substitutions going into around the 76 minutes. And then obviously Temba Zwane ends up getting a red card again. I think he obviously him actually going through a play. I believe he touches his face and actually makes contact, and I think hence why the red card was given. That one for me, why is quite harsh. I mean, did you literally leave your red cards your yellow cards at home for the ref? I think yes, it is a question. He did touch the face, probably it is a red, but I think especially for like I've said, for the first game of the World Cup, these red cards can't be just going just for the sake of let it going. I mean, any foul can be looking as a red card if you actually really wanna critique it and actually analyze it correctly and unfairly. I think it just kills the game with the red cards, especially if it's not done correctly. it doesn't give the opportunity to actually see a very good game being played. I mean, obviously, 10 men, we know that especially Mexico on its own without red cards or anything in the game will probably then dominate South Africa. Now you're giving South Africa one less leg to actually compete in this game. I mean, it just kills one of the first games of the competition. And then we saw another red card from Cesar Montes in the last minutes of the game. I think that one also was also another very harsh. I think yet again it could have been a yellow as well. It was a bit dangerous, but I think yet again it's not needed. I mean, if it's clear and obvious that it is a red, then yes. But let's keep the red cards for the very big occasions, especially if it really is needed. I mean, now there's three players on its own that can't compete in the next game for the World Cup. So yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think of that. How did you guys see the game going? Obviously, we have a lot of things to do going into our next game. I believe South Africa plays Czech Republic next, and we definitely need to somehow find a point. I do think to an extent that Czech Republic is probably a better team than Mexico. They have a few better players in terms of the midfield, and now it's going to be a thing of can we cause an upset? Can we actually change this around and actually get at least third in the group to actually go into the next round? Let me know down below what you guys think for this thing. Obviously, if you take a look at some stats, Mexico clearly dominated us. 16 shots over in total. 4 of them were on targets. That's very poor from Mexico. That's for every 4 shots they take on goal, only 1 goes on target. I mean, what happened to their strikers and their midfielders who are taking shots? But they did end up punishing us 2-0 on the night. So very fair play from them. If you look at South Africa, we only had 3 shots on target the whole game, and only 2 of them were on targets. And then Mexico had 20 shots, 20 touches in our box, whereas we only had 2. Accurate passes, they had 467, we only had 272 on the night. So clearly we were definitely dominated with the red cards, and especially with the caliber of Mexico, the rest of the world in terms of so we definitely know we've got a lot of work to do to actually make this up and actually stay in the fight and actually keep competing if we want to continue our World Cup journey. So obviously, right now as it stands on the log, South Africa's lost with -2, Czech Republic on -1, South Korea on 3 points, and then Mexico ahead of them in first spot with 3 points and a +2 on goal difference. So yeah, guys, let me know down below what you guys think of both games. Is there major factors that needs to be changed going into the next game for Portugal, especially Portugal's first game or South Africa's second game into the competition? What needs to be changed? How can we actually change it around, and how can we actually make a difference? Please comment down below. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and peace.